Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang broadcasting from California. Morsels of a Thought number 1801, 1801. This is how many consecutive days I've come here to bring you morsels of a thought, hopefully of wisdom, hopefully that we learn the right things to do, because knowing the right things to do is a form of wisdom, and then actually taking the action and doing it is called virtue. Now, morsels of a thought of wisdom are from other people, because I myself am not very wise. So as I can tell you, oh, it is 11:10 um p.m. my time, so it is barely the date that I'm supposed to be doing this. And I had to take a sick day, half of a sick day off. So this is what we're reading right now, off script. When I typed out the title here originally, it said never follow the crowd. But if you very carefully look at it, it says off script. Off script. Do you see that? It's very hard to see. And it is recipes for success. Visionary, founder of Entertainment, Bang Entertainment TV network. Larry J. Namer. Oh God, I hope you don't get mad at me, Larry. Yeah, for being so sleepy when I come up here today, because ordinarily this is about 3 hours before I wake up. Uh, anyway, so what we're doing is we're reading from his book. And I can read you off script the Larry J. Namer story. On the back of the book is: how does an assistant underground cable splicer become an international media and entertainment mogul? In his one-of-a-kind memoir, Larry J. Namer shares his journey to becoming the most sought-after media visionary in the U.S., Canada, Russia, and beyond. From his childhood in Coney Island to becoming the founder of Entertainment, Bang, Off Script tells the behind the scenes stories that marked his astounding success and the creation of stars like Howard Stern and the Kardashians. Not your typical memoir, Off Script is authentically, unapologetically Larry Namer. Follow his recipes for success, and you too can accomplish what others say cannot be done. And as a bonus, enjoy the recipes he's perfected from his travels around the world. Whether in the kitchen or in Hollywood, Larry is proof that anyone can be successful, or as he says, if I can do it, so can you. Los Angeles Business Magazine says Larry Namer doesn't break the rules. He sets new ones for the world to follow. So, here, joint venture publishing, www.ljnmedia.com for information and resources. Never follow the crowd. An international entertainment and media mogul, Larry J. Namer transformed the industry at home and abroad. The founder of with an exclamation point, he created stars and brought them into homes around the world. ISBN 979-8989-679-393. 979-8989-679-393. 7, 9, 3, 9, 3. He must have done something to get that number. He's a big deal, this man is. I am so sleepy. Hopefully that you guys get this little bit of wisdom before you go to bed tonight. I know that in Hawaii or Alaska, it is still an hour or two before midnight. This is a national bestseller. It is named Never Follow the Crowd, Off Script. Do you see that word? Off script. Never follow the crowd, off script. Recipes for success. It's hard to say. Let's see. And on the inside, this title is Off Script Recipes for Success by Larry J. Namer. Okay. I have to yawn because I'm not waking up soon. Oh, goodness gracious. God. Oh, wait. Oh, did I tell you my name is Yin Yang? This is Yin Yang. Okay. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. The Millionaire Mentor Inc. Joint Venture Publishing. The Millionaire Mentor Inc. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be copied, reprinted, or reproduced in any way, electronic or otherwise, without written permission from the author and/or publisher. Larry Namer wrote to me and said, "You can read the book." Thank you. Thank you. This book is a memoir. It reflects the author's present recollections of experiences over time. Some characteristics might have been changed, some events might have been compressed, and some dialogue might have been omitted or recreated based on memory. Neither the author nor the publisher accepts any liability for inaccuracies or misrepresentations. No warranties or guarantees are expressed or implied by the inclusion of the content herein. Neither the publisher nor the author shall be liable for any physical, psychological, emotional, financial, or commercial damages. Table of Contents. Forward by Greg S. Reed. Okay, let's read the forward before we read the table of contents, just because there's a forward by Greg S. Reed. Actually, let me take that back. Shit. Sorry. It's easy to forget. All right. Number 1, West 29th Street Family Food and Fun. 2, Making Friends, Not War. Number 3, The Past Least. Excuse me. Let me start that over. We are reading Larry J. Namer's Recipes for Success. Never follow the crowd. Off script. Okay, off script, never follow the crowd. Oh my God. Okay. Pull her off the stage. Yeah, yeah. Okay. West 29th Street, Family Food and Fun. Making friends, not war. The path least likely. Finding opportunity in adversity. L.A. Liberace and me. An instant 3.5-year success. E! Exclamation point, and the channel that never was. E! Exclamation point, a plan that somehow unfolded. The bloody butt that almost derailed a network. The OJ stories. The women in my life. To Russia with love. The Soviet Union, St. Pete, and Santa Barbara. The beauty of it all. The China years. My Microsoft days. No, I'm not gay, but some of my friends are. The things that changed me. The Larry Namer recipe for success. Larry Namer's recipes. Baked clams. Chicken parmigiana. burrata and tomato, sweet and sour chicken, Chinese style spare ribs, New York style shrimp egg rolls, gazpacho, peppers and anchovies, La Scala chopped salad, Chinese cucumber salad, borscht, Sichuan chicken, miso cod with peas and mushrooms, matzo ball soup, fried rice, avocado and red onion salad, baked clams oreganata, egg foo young, my version of a Waldorf salad, smash burgers, and modern pot stickers. Music that inspires me, books for would-be filmmakers, and Larry about Larry J. Namer. All right. The foreword is from Greg S. Reed. The word can't has long been the demise of many a dream. After all, if there is a firm belief that something is impossible, most people will not even try. Either that, or they'll give in at the first sign of criticism, skepticism, or negativity that is thrown their way. Those who give in and give up easily are, unfortunately, the majority. Thankfully, Larry Namer is in the minority. Larry is the poster child for the person least likely to become the greatest media and entertainment mogul of our time. But Larry defied the odds and refused to take no for an answer. He didn't know that what he wanted to do was unheard of, so he refused to give up. And by pressing forward, he changed the entertainment world as we know it. For over a decade, Larry and I have been more than friends. We've become alliances in creativity and ambition. Together, we've navigated challenges, celebrated victories, and fueled each other's passions. Our journey is a testament to the power of collaboration and unwavering support, the same characteristics Larry brings to his professional relationships around the world. Like its author, this book is unapologetically authentic. It's one of a kind journey toward becoming an international media and entertainment mogul. It's a one of a kind journey, excuse me. It's a one of a kind journey toward becoming an international media and entertainment mogul against the odds and despite those who told him it couldn't be done. If Larry Namer, an assistant underground cable splicer from Coney Island, can do the unthinkable, so can you. Just follow his recipe for success and don't forget to try the other delicious recipes he shares in this book. You'll be glad you did. To your success, Greg S. Reed, best-selling author and founder of Secret Knock. I think he's a co-founder. His ex-wife and he co-founded it, but he is a founder. Chapter 1, West 29th Street, Family, Food, and Fun. Larry Namer here says, how does someone go from being an underground assistant cable splicer to the top of the international media and entertainment corporate ladder? I'm here to tell you that it's been quite an incredible journey, and it all started in the hood, otherwise known as Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. The Coney Island I grew up in was more than the boardwalk amusement park atmosphere that it was known for. In reality, it was an impoverished and rough area, though we didn't realize that at the time because it was all we ever knew. The Joneses we aspired to keep up with were in fact just as poor, so we figured our own life and town were normal. In other words, we didn't know any different. Imagine the culture shock when the young man who worked under New York City's streets found himself in the throes of the entertainment capital of the world. I don't know if Hollywood was ready for me, but somehow my upbringing and life had prepared me for, quote, Hollywood, end quote. I say Hollywood with the understanding that it is no longer the geographic center of the entertainment world, but rather the measure of creativity and quality. See that? A word can change over time because the place it started out in is no longer the important place that it was. Back to the author. And it all started generations before I was born. My father's family came from Spain way back, but moved to Turkey. Most of them migrated to Cuba and South America because they spoke Spanish. But my grandfather chose to move to New York City and eventually ended up in Coney Island, where my dad and his 7 siblings grew up. Raising 8 kids isn't easy, and during the Depression, times got really tough. During the Depression, times got really tough. We are reading Off Script by Larry J. Namer. Recipes for Success. Never follow the crowd. This is by Visionary E Entertainment, founder of E Entertainment TV network. Oh God, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, oh my God, I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not gonna sneeze. Okay, never mind. I guess I won't sneeze. Okay, all right. Pressure. Unfortunately, my grandparents found that they weren't able to take care of all their kids anymore. So my dad was sent to a children's home where he stayed until he was reunited with his family as a teenager. While my father spoke to his parents and siblings in Spanish, he wanted his kids to be raised as Americans through and through, and he refused to speak Spanish to us or even in front of us. My parents were proud to be American and were quite patriotic and willing to do whatever was necessary for their country. When World War II broke out, my mom worked in the war manufacturing out excuse me. My mom worked in the war manufacturing effort in Brooklyn, and my father enlisted and served in a tank unit in northern Africa and Italy until he was wounded in the line of duty. To this day, I still have his army canteen and his Purple Heart, and I am proud of the service and the sacrifice he gave for his country. Because my grandfather had Parkinson's disease, I don't have as many memories of him as I do the rest of the family. However, I recall visiting and often seeing him propped up in a chair. On the other hand, I knew my grandmother on my dad's side very well. On my mom's side, we all lived in the same 4 family building, with my grandmother living in the apartment upstairs and my aunt Fanny residing in the apartment next door to us. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment across the hall, with one bedroom being for my parents, and my sister Harriet and I shared the excuse me, with one bedroom being for my parents, and my sister Harriet and I shared the other bedroom. The fourth apartment was rented to Mrs. Markowitz, who was not related to us, but it sure seemed like she was. As you can see, my mom truly had the proverbial village to help her raise us kids. That village went beyond the 4 family house we lived in and even encompassed our neighbors. This was back in the day when kids were free to roam and parents weren't worried because everyone watched out for everyone else's kids. There was always someone there if you needed them, and as I found out a time or two, there was always someone ready to report anything I did wrong to my dad. With that many eyes on me, I quickly learned that I wasn't going to get away with much. As we grew older, my parents realized that sharing a room with my little sister wasn't the best situation, and they moved me into the apartment next door with my Aunt Fanny, where I got to sleep on an extra bed they'd put in her bedroom. Fanny never married, we never knew why, and was not used to having kids around, so when I moved in, it was probably more of an adjustment for her than it was for me. Thankfully, though, she warmed up to me and even made sure I ate breakfast, usually oatmeal, every day before school. Living so close to each other, we grew up understanding that family was very important. It was a given that all dinners would be with the family. There were no exceptions or excuses. On top of that, Sunday dinners were always at a restaurant, regardless of our financial state, and they were mandatory. They were mandatory. Through these, excuse me, through these dinners and our family meals, we were exposed to different cuisines and ethnic dishes that included a rotation of seafood, Lundy Brothers in Sheepshead Bay, which only had African American waiters, Chinese, deli, and Italian food, Carolinas, which to this day had the best baked clams I've ever tasted. With so much importance placed on food and family, it is somewhat ironic that a lack of food and family was the reason I taught myself how to cook. Let me explain. Both of my parents worked, and like a lot of latchkey kids, there were times when I was left to fend for myself when it came to dinner. Around the age of 12, though, I grew tired of eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so it was out of necessity that I taught myself how to cook. Initially, I started out small, fixing something that was easy to throw together, but as I got better at cooking, I dug into cookbooks to find more interesting and complex recipes, which I'd sometimes put my own touch on to make them even better. It wasn't long before I realized that cooking for myself wasn't a chore at all. It was actually therapeutic, and I found that I enjoyed it so much that I looked forward to cooking and experimenting in the kitchen. Fast forward to today, and I can cook just about anything, and often without a recipe. I can eat something in a restaurant and identify the flavors and ingredients and then recreate it at home. The first try is usually close, but the second attempt is spot on. On the third take, I'm usually tweaking the recipe in some way to improve or enhance the dish and make it my own. I enjoy it so much that cooking would be my full time career if it paid the bills, but it doesn't. So instead, I choose to cook because I want to, and it gives me pleasure to share the dishes I create with my family and friends. Now, I'm going to pause here for next week, and I'm going to show you a few recipes he's got and photos he's got. We'll go to Section 2, Larry Namer's recipes. This this here. Look at this. Look at this. Don't you want to eat that now? I think I'm gonna go buy some clams tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna go do. Okay. This was baked clams. Um, and it's got a long list of ingredients. Look at that. Do you see this right here? Can you see this right here? Anyway, knowing the right things to do is wisdom, and doing them is virtue. So, simply reading to you what other people have done and learned about, and yay, we can bring more virtue into the world. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm sorry I was this late. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Old Kinderhook.